Hello everyone, this is the Vlogger. Welcome to episode number 6 of how to create your own IO game. In this video, I am going to show you how to draw your first character on a screen and basically the art of drawing anything you want on a screen and how that happens in JavaScript P5js. Let's go. Before we start, let's have a look at my pury.space game because we're going to recreate the pury.space game in P5js in this tutorial. In order to get the pury.space game source code, you can go to my to the github.com and find my account, which has the same name as my YouTube channel, the Vloggerio, and there you can clone or download the source code of pury.space. And if you're wondering how to run it, there is a how to run section in the readme file over there. So go ahead and have a look. You can also check my other games right here. You can play them, you can get the source, anything you want. I already have the pury.space source code on my own computer, so you just go ahead, click on it, right? Click on here, type cmd, enter, then you can say not app.js. The game is running. I can go ahead and check it. Sorry, localhost 2000. Okay, there you enter your name, anything you want, hit play. There you can play it. Okay. If you look closely, I have a little triangular shape as my character, and when I move, there is a fire animation behind it. We are going to create the triangular shape first and learn how to do it. And the second thing you have to see here is that the game is full screen, so we need to implement that as well. Later on, we're gonna move the character. So right now we are basically going to create this triangle in P5js. Let's go ahead and do it right now. Back into the code, go to Visual Studio Code, click on File, Open Folder, episode number 6, which is exact same as episode number 5. The start point of episode 6 is the same as the end line of episode number 5. I'm gonna open that. What we're gonna do here is to draw something on a screen in client side first, then in future videos we're gonna make it a multiplayer game so everyone can see it. Go to JS, sketch.js, find the draw function. What does the draw function? I will discuss about it in a moment. Before we start drawing anything on the screen, I'm gonna show you something that is too important for you in future. Whenever you're going to draw something, it's always good to go ahead and look at P5js references. So you can go ahead to the p5js.org references section, and there you can find anything you want, whatever you're gonna draw on a screen. As long as we are using P5js library, this is how we draw it. Go ahead and find whatever you want to draw. For example, I can Control F, I can find a rect. Not that. There we go. Click on whatever you want, and there is a really quick example of what is and of how to draw a rect on your screen. I'm gonna copy this and bring it on into the draw. If you remember, draw is always happening. Draw happens a lot of time per second, so it is our FPS. Right now I am going to have only a static shape, so I'm not gonna do it in draw. I'm gonna go and do it in setup, just like that. I'm gonna hit save, press Ctrl S for save, and then start our game. Just open the terminal, not server, sorry, server.js. Go to my game, localhost 2000. There we go. There I have a shape here, but you don't know yet what these are, so I'm gonna talk about them real quick. Okay, what does this function of P5js do? The first one is basically our x. The second parameter is our y. The third one is the width, and the last parameter is the height. Okay, so that's how it works. I have to write it here for you as a comment. X and Y, width and height. Okay, just like that. But I want a full screen. I want my game to be full screen. First, in order to have a full screen canvas, what are we drawing here? The place that we draw anything we want on the screen is called canvas. When you are using the browser, there should be a canvas to draw on. Hopefully P5js automatically creates a canvas for us, but we can scale it to whatever size we want before we draw anything on it. We can also change the color. So I'm gonna create canvas. So I can say create canvas, just like that, and I'm gonna give it the size of my screen. How to do that? Hopefully P5js again has another thing that helps us for that. There is a global variable in P5js called window width, which takes the current size of Google Chrome, whatever size it is, it returns the result of that, and the window height. I'm gonna hit Control S and go back to game. I'm gonna refresh. You won't see any changes. There is an error. Let's see. In F12. Okay, uncaught error window. We have a syntax error here. Window. I'm gonna Control save, refresh. Okay, notice there isn't anything changed yet, but in a moment there will be. So after I create a canvas with the window width and window height, I can now change the color of background. Background, whatever color I want. Here it gets hex color. What is a hex color? What is it exactly? Oh no, it can't get a hex color or RGB color. If you don't know what an RGB is, there is basically three numbers: 255, 255, 255. There is a number for the red, green, and blue. For each of them, there is a number. 255 means the highest red you can get on your screen, and 0 is the darkest. That's like it. So 0, 0, 0, 0 will become black. 25, 255, 255, 255 is the raw white. I'm gonna have maybe a little bit like 55, 55, 255. Let's see how that looks. This is the color you get. Why? Because the blue has the highest amount here. I like this color for now. Pury.space is what. Later on we can change it. And now, if you, for example, change the width and height to some other numbers, maybe 500, 500, hit save, go back to game, refresh. As you can see, the canvas gets smaller. I don't want that to happen. I want a full screen for now. So I go with that. Then whenever you're going to draw something on a screen, something you should keep in mind is that x-axis of your screen, for example, my mouse is on the 0 position of the canvas is in computer is always on the top left. So here on the top left is a 0, 0. So let's create the canvas on 0, 0 instead of 30, 20. A refresh. The 0, 0 is always on the top left of a screen. So it's not like the real axis. It always starts from top left. So the 0, 0 is top left. And whenever you add to the x, for example, x of 50, I hit save, go back to game, refresh. It's 50 to the right, and the x-axis is working fine. But the y-axis, if I have the minus 50, and go back and refresh, my rectangle goes up basically. And if I go maybe plus 100, it's a positive number, it goes down. So the y-axis is actually reversed in computer canvas. That's some important thing you should keep in mind. But what if I want my rectangle to be in the middle of the canvas? We don't know the size of canvas yet. We only know the width and height of the of this section of Google Chrome always with using the window width and window height command. But in order to get the size of the canvas, there is something called width and height. Notice that these are taken variables by P5js, so you cannot ever have a variable with the same name as width and height in P5js because they're gonna conflict. If I give it the width and height, it's gonna basically go to the bottom right of the screen. Let's save it and go to game, refresh. Oh, there is an error. Width, just like that. I go back, refresh. So I will not see my rectangle because it's on the bottom right of the screen. What I basically want I want it to be in the middle of the screen. So it should be divided by 2, width divided by 2, height divided by 2. Save, refresh. There we have our rectangle. Some more important thing is that it is not actually centered that well, because first of all we have to screw a little bit to the middle. So we will get rid of that screw in later episodes. But if you look a little more close, it is not in the middle because it is always drawn from the top left side of this rectangle. So whenever we say, okay, on the width divided by 2 and height divided by 2, create a rectangle. It will go here and create a rectangle from that x and y to that width and height. We don't want that to happen. We want it to be absolutely in the middle. In order to do that, there is some other thing in P5js that is rect mod. Because before you draw your rectangle, you can have something called rect mode, and in here you can say center. So it will draw the rectangle always from the center. If you look at that, now it is in actual middle. The 0, 0 position of this rectangle is in the middle of it. Simple as that. But I want my rectangle to move a little bit. How can I do that? How can that happen? In order to do that, instead of this width and height divided by 2, these are called the static numbers. I don't want that. I don't want those. I want them to change over time. So x will change and the rectangle will move. In order to do that, I have to cut this part, maybe this part, and I'm gonna bring it inside my draw function. Okay, I don't need this command. So in the draw function, I am actually drawing something. What am I drawing? I'm drawing a rectangle. It should have the same result. Let's go back to here and check it. It has the same result, but something you cannot notice here is that it is drawing a rectangle over and over again, a lot of time per second. So each time we need to clear this screen, so we will not have a lot of rectangles on each other. But before I do that, I'm gonna make this rectangle move to the right or left before we do that. So I instead of width divided by 2 and height divided by 2, I'm gonna create some global variable over here outside of any function. I'm gonna create var x is equal to maybe 0, and I'm gonna have another variable called y is equal to 0, and instead of this width and height, I'm gonna give it the x and y. Basically draw a rectangle on 0, 0. I go back to code, I refresh. Okay, on the 0, 0, I have a little rectangle up here. Right now I want it to move. So how do I move it? I can move it here. I can say 50 over here. If I refresh, it moves to the right, but that's not the case I'm looking for. I'm looking for something like an animation. That's what I want. So whenever I draw my rectangle on the x position, after that I'm gonna say x plus equal to 1. Or better said, there is a more easy way of doing this, and that is x plus plus. X plus plus do the same thing as x plus equal to 1. So it's a quicker command of doing that. So why not doing that here and having this as a comment? Now if I refresh, as you can see, my rectangle is moving to the right, but it's moving a little bit oddly. Maybe we can jump more, and then you can check what's exactly happening here. So because draw is working a lot of time per second, each time I draw a rectangle, I move to the right by 1, and I draw the rectangle again. Let's draw the rectangle on y50, so it will be somehow further down instead of being up there. Then instead of say plus plus, I'm gonna say let's copy it here. I'm gonna have plus equal to 10. So I want to jump every time, move 10 pixels to the right. So the measurement of these is pixels. Fresh. Oh, jumping 10 pixels to the right each time I draw. But I don't want that. That doesn't look very like an animation. Animation isn't like that. Animation moves so smoothly, and it doesn't leave a trail behind. In order to get rid of that trail, instead of changing the background in the setup, I'm gonna copy that and I'm gonna paste it. I'm gonna cut that and paste it inside my draw. So each time the draw function starts working, first it changes the background. The background will also clear everything, so it will clear everything on canvas. So first I clear the canvas, then I draw something else. Let's save and refresh, and now we have a moving rectangle as we're supposed to have it on any game. It's an animation. It's not interactive yet. We cannot click it, we cannot move it with keyboard, nothing, just go outside of a screen, but that's the way we draw anything we want. What I'm planning to do right now is I want to basically, instead of a rectangle, have something like pury.space game. I wanted to have a different color first. I want to choose the color. Then I want it not a rectangle but a triangle. If you have a better look at my pury.space, it's not a perfect triangle. It has a little bit bump on the bottom of it. So how to do that? We go to P5js references, search for triangle. There you can find the triangle. Click it. You can see the triangle is here. It is maybe this one is more proper. I'm gonna copy it and go back to code instead of this rectangle. If you're wondering how I did that, I hold Control and press slash. It just go a comment and uncomment. So I comment this line and I paste the triangle here. Okay, and this should be a triangle mod. I don't care about this right now, but let's see if we have a triangle mod. I don't remember triangle mod. We don't have it. We don't have it. So the triangle mod, how it works. First of all, it gets the first X and Y. So I want it to be on this X and Y. It's basically taking the X and Y of 3 angles of my of the triangle. So the first one, I want it to be on the X and Y, which is this. Then I want the X to be maybe plus 20, and the other one, the Y is gonna be the same. The other one is gonna be X and X plus 20. Okay, so what I'm basically doing is that the first point, it's saying, let me show you. I have to go to the paint. So we have a triangle like this. It has 3 points. One of them is here, one of them is here, one of them here. So each of them has their own X and Y. So I'm gonna give the X and Y here, my X and Y, any number it can be, X and Y. And then the other one is gonna be X plus maybe 10 and Y. And the other one is gonna be X maybe plus 5 and Y plus 10 maybe. So I will have a rectangle in this location. Okay, so whatever this X is, I say, okay, this x plus 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, like 6, and whatever the y is, it plus it by 10, and x plus by 5, things like that. Okay, so there you will have a triangle. That's what I'm basically doing here. This should be y, and this should be plus maybe 10. I'm gonna hit save. Don't forget the semicolon. Save, go back to game, refresh. There we have our triangle. You can experiment with these numbers as you want. So a triangle gets the as you had here, as we had here, triangle. That's what it needs. Okay, but in the pury.space game, it doesn't work like that. It has four angles. It doesn't have 3 angles only. The bottom of it has a little bit bump. How to achieve that? In order to achieve that, we need to use another way of drawing things, which we are going to use a lot in our game. Go to P5js references. I'm going to show you the references too. There is something called vertex, or better said, begin shape. We have something called begin shape. Click on that. There you can have any shape you want. Okay, there are different ways of it. I'm gonna go for the first one because it fills out the interior of it with any color you want. This is the thing we want. I'm gonna copy this and bring it to our code and talk about it for a little bit. So I paste it over here. Notice we don't need the rect mod anymore. What does a begin shape do? It means that I'm going to draw a shape on a screen, and here the shape ends. Whenever you're going to draw a custom shape on a screen, you have to say begin shape, end shape, and if you want your shape to be colored, to be filled with color, you have to close it in the end. It will basically close the end point of your shape with your starting point of your shape. We're gonna experiment that in a moment. And what the vertex does, it says, okay, what is the first point, the second point, the third point? You can have as many as points as you want, and it will just close the ends of them. So what is this? I'm gonna draw maybe say, okay, the first point is gonna be on 50. The second point is gonna be on 100. So we have gone to 100 to the right from this point, and 50. Then I'm gonna go again maybe 150 to the right. This time 100 to 100 further down. That's it. I'm gonna close it here. I save. I go back to code. Refresh. Let's see what I got. Okay, that's it. That's it. This is the x and y. I go from this x. I go 100 to the right. Then I go 100 to the bottom and 100 to the right, things like that. 150 to the right, 100 to the bottom. So let's discuss about it in Paint. I'm gonna show you here. I want this. So I need to give it as many as points I want. I'm gonna say, all right, my first, what is this? I have an x and y. My first point, if you take a look closer, the 0, 0 position of the paint also is on top left of a screen. So basically this is a canvas where we can draw anything we want on it. Maybe I can teach you that as well. So from the 0, 0 location, I want to draw, I want to say, okay, I have a point on x of 300 and y of 200, which is here. I'm gonna write it here. 200, 300, 200, too big. Just like that. Then I'm gonna say I have another point which is on x 600 and y maybe 300, maybe over here. So this is 600, 300. This is another point. Then I have, for example, another one on 500, 500. This is 500, 500. When you say begin shape, it says, okay, I begin the shape from here. And then it connects it to your next vertex. It connects it to the next vertex. And then when in the end, in your code, you say end shape and close, it says, okay, the shape is now, it connects the last one to the first one, just like that, and said, all right, it's now closed, maybe with whatever color you want, maybe with that, okay, maybe with this, and it closed it. Simple as that. So you can have as many as vertices you want here, and that's how the pury.space is made. Pury.space is not using P5js, so it's using JavaScript. No libraries is used in P5js, but we can do that in P5js just like that. Let's create the same shape here. In order to do that, I'm gonna say, okay, start with 50, 50, and then I'm gonna go down by, I'm gonna go maybe 40, x40. So I'm gonna show you here. I don't need this anymore. I need a point here, maybe on 50, 50. Then I need a point on, for example, 40 and 100, which is here. And then I want to have another one on 60, 100, just like that. And maybe, no, I want another one on, again, 50, maybe not 100, maybe 50, 80, and another one on 60, 100, just like that. So it will connect it like this, like this, like this, like this. How that happens, let's go and see. 50, 50, then I'm gonna go 40, the y is gonna be 100, then I'm gonna go again 50, this one is the middle one, and the y should be maybe 80, and then I want another one just like this on 60. I'm gonna hit save. I'm gonna go back to code, go back to game, and okay, there we go. Maybe it should be maybe more, so 30 here, 70 here, and instead of 80 it should be 90. I'm gonna refresh. There we go. There we have the shape we want, and we can also move it. How can we move it? How do we move this thing? We can say, okay, in order to do that, we should always say, I'm gonna start with from here. I can say x plus. I can x plus. You can plus this number with your with wherever you're gonna start. So this is the shape we have. Okay, it's better appropriate to start the shape from 0, 0. It's better do that. From 0, 0, maybe minus 30, 100. This should be 0, 90, and 30, 100. Let's save that. Let's check that. Yes, that is true. So we are drawing something on the 0, 0 location. Then if you add your x and y, I say, okay, x plus, this should go inside parentheses because we have a minus here. X plus, then we have the y plus, y plus, y plus. There is a better way of doing this, but not for this section. For this lecture, I'm gonna do that. I'm gonna refresh. There we go. Now it is moving in wherever we want. They are somehow looking the same. Maybe 90, maybe 85. Oh yeah, it is better now. And 100 is too much. Maybe I want it to be 90, so it should be 75. Yeah, I like that more. They have basically the same shape. And what I have done basically is that I had this code without the X and Y. This is what we had. I only took the same thing. I only got the same thing and added my X and Y to each vertices X and Y. Simple as that. And in order to give this shape a color, you can say fill. There is a command called fill in P5js, and inside here again you can give it any color you want. So I want to give it a red color, maybe not too much red, 200, maybe 40, for 50. So I want it to be red a little bit, just like that. 0, 255. A raw red would be better. Okay, that's how we draw something on a screen. In the next episode, I am going to teach you how to have your shape moving wherever your WSAD or arrow keys set to, so you can move the shape with your keyboard in whatever direction you want it. Okay, and also I am also going to cover how to always keep the screen, keep the character in the middle of the screen. So that is so important in our game as well, because in pury.space we have some sort of camera which is always set on the character. Wherever you go, the camera is following the player. So we are going to basically move this rectangle with our keyboard, and also keep the screen on top of the character as well. Maybe that's something you want in your game, maybe that's not. So but whatever it is, I'm gonna teach you how to set the camera on top of your shape. So go ahead and experiment with begin shape and end shape. Create different kind of shapes you want. Maybe go ahead and check pury.space. You can see this these other shapes we have over here. If you want to know what other things you can do with P5js drawing things, you can always go ahead to the P5js org references and go see what they have. They have a bunch of cool stuff you can use. For example, there is an ellipse as well. In order to draw any ellipse you want, there is an arc. You can experiment that as well. We're gonna use almost all of them in future code, but not in this few episodes, because I want to keep it as simple as possible. If you have any question, please ask in the comment section below. By the way, all the code we have, all the code I do in each video, you can find the source code of that in my GitHub account, and the link is always in the description. If you like this video, please like, share, subscribe, do whatever you can to support me. Thank you very much. See you again.